Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 2 quarterback rankings, my 1 through 12. The QB1s on the week. This is not a DFS show. This is more of a fantasy football show. If you have start-sit questions, refer to the list. Should I play this quarterback or should I play that quarterback? Play the one who's ranked higher on the list if that's what you're interested in. So I wish you the best of luck in your fantasy leagues this week. I hope that you win. I hope that you won in week 1. But let's get to my top 12 quarterbacks for week 2. Let's go.
He's a legend.
Whether you're playing season long or if you like daily fantasy, be sure that you get into the GangListener League. It is the best league that exists on draftkings.com. $10 entry fee, 3 max, 100% of the prize pool that gets collected gets paid out. Absolutely no rake. If you are a smaller bankroll player, you need to find yourself being more rake conscious. The best way to do that is to pay 0 amount of rake. So join the GangListener League. If it fills, they'll keep it this size. If it don't fill it, it's going to get smaller in weeks to come, which means a smaller first prize, a smaller 10th place prize. And I will shout out the top 10 winners on the recap video right here on the Fantasy Football channel every single Monday. So get in where you fit in the GangListener League. Let's go over to my top rankings on the week. My number 1 quarterback this week is Josh Allen. It's probably going to be Josh Allen a lot of weeks. If he's on the slate, he's going to be 1 or probably 2. Like maybe he's 2, maybe. But like get used to him being the number 1 spot. Number 2 on the list, Patrick Mahomes had a ridiculous week in week 1, completing 30 of 39 passes, 5 touchdowns, ran the ball 3 times, 360 yards. He was ridiculous. And now he's got a fantastic Thursday night game. Can't wait to watch this one. Chargers against Kansas City. Should be a ridiculous shootout, back and forth all the way. Number 3 is Jalen Hurts. Maybe the best floor ceiling combo quarterback in the league because of how many times he runs the ball. If you get a quarterback who runs it like 8 to 10 times a game, they're going to have a really good floor. He ran 17 times in week 1. Like that's unheard of against Detroit. Now, look, he's not going to do that every week, but he's also not going to throw for 0 touchdowns every week with the amount of talent that he has on his pass catching course. So Hurts should not have to run it 17 times in the future. He's still averaging like 50 yards and half a touchdown on the ground while still giving the opportunity of a multiple touchdown game with 250 yards passing through the air. Lamar Jackson is my number 4. Same situation as Hurts, really high floor because of the rushing ability that he brings to the table. Only ran it 6 times for 17 yards in week 1 against the Jets, but like he didn't really have, they were up 24 to, they won 24 to 9. So like they didn't need to utilize his legs. They weren't putting him and he wasn't putting himself in any sort of harm's way, but they play Miami this week. So more pressure coming his way. Miami, a much more talented offense than the Jets offense is what we saw in week 1. So Lamar may have to be a little bit more vintage Lamar this week versus, what he was in week 1. And then we talked about how much we like Patrick Mahomes this week. Justin Herbert is my QB5 this week. Look, 300-yard ability, multiple touchdowns, 2.5 a game. Not going to shock you if that's the reality. That's basically what he averages. 3 wouldn't shock you. 4 wouldn't shock you. He gets dinged a little bit because of the possibility that he may be without Keenan Allen, who has a hamstring injury. I'm not expecting to play on Thursday. And you don't like to waste a spot on Thursday night if you don't have to. But if you have Herbert, you're not going with anybody else in that spot. You're starting Herbert unless you are so rich that you don't have to. But that's our guy. If you don't know already, right below me, you see that our charity fundraiser that we're doing on the channel, the community is trying to raise $50,000. For every $10,000 that the community raises, I will match $10,000 of my own money. Smizzle.tv/charity, or you can find it in Smizzle.tv/links. Go through Tiltify. They'll take care of all the tax paperwork for you. That link exists in the pinned comment down below and in the description. No Kid Hungry raises an awful lot of money every year that they spend on school breakfast and school lunch for food insecure kids across the country. So be a part of something that's bigger than yourself and give $1. Every dollar would help. It's been such an amazing community, and let's try to get this done for No Kid Hungry. Moving on to my QB6 on the week is Kyler Murray. Kyler is in the middle of week 1 was a double XP week for Call of Duty, and now the Call of Duty beta's I should probably knock him down a couple spots because the new Call of Duty beta is coming out. Narrative being what it is, and maybe correlation doesn't equal causation, but like it sure seems like it with Kyler Murray. It would be weird if it happened 2 times, right? If Week 1, he didn't have a fantastic week, and it was a Call of Duty double XP week. And then week 2, it would be kind of weird if it was the Call of Duty beta and he doesn't have a good game here in Las Vegas. So Kyler, you got to do it, man. You got to have a good week. You got to have an efficient week. You got to win this game. You got to have a good QB, all those things. We need vintage Kyler here for you to warrant being my number 6 QB on the week. And if you're still here, you're watching the video, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. I got videos coming out 6 days a week here on the Fantasy Football channel. Don't want you to miss one of them. So that notifications bell is extremely key. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you think that the Call of Duty narrative is true when it comes to Kyler Murray. Right behind him at number 7 is Joe Burrow. Joe Cool himself had to throw the ball a ton. They still ran the ball under expectation in neutral game script situations. They only threw the ball when they needed to. The Bengals want to be, the Bengals want to identify as a tough run the football team. The reality is they have one of the best wide receivers in the league, and they have a very good quarterback, and they have a better offensive line, even though it did not show up against Pittsburgh. They will not be under as much duress against Dallas as they were against Pittsburgh's front 7, and Dallas may not have the amount of playmakers that Pittsburgh has in the second. I know that Diggs is there, but like he's not as good as Minka. And then they've got other pieces that are individually better if we are to believe what we saw in that Tampa Bay game where they were constantly picking on Brown on the other side of the ball. So Joe Burrow is my number 7. Number 8 is Derek Carr. The Raiders in this situation, really high total at home and favored. Devontae Adams is going to make a massive difference in the efficiency of one Derek Carr. And then he's got a very healthy, all of a sudden, after he signed a massive contract, very healthy Darren Waller, as well as Hunter Renfrow to go along with him. Great opportunity here for Derek Carr. Russ Wilson looks to have a bounce back spot. He's my QB 9 of the week. He had a rough situation going to Seattle and having to play there, his first game back against a team that was really amped up. If Seattle has a Super Bowl this year, it was week 1. They came out like a pack of crazed dogs in a hostile environment for Russ Wilson. Now he gets to go home in his first game as the quarterback of the Denver Broncos. It'll be a much different situation for him, a much more friendly environment, and the defense they're playing up against, the Houston Texans, a much more friendly environment as well. So Russ Wilson with a really soft landing spot. Let's hope that Coach Hackett has a better game plan than what he brought to the table in Seattle. They've got a week to recover from this. Look, sometimes you step in dog poo. It's going to happen. Coach Hackett, you stepped in poop. Okay? You done stepped in poop. Now the next step is washing it off, and let's move forward from there because you have great talent on the outside in Jerry Jeudy and in Cortland Sutton. You have fantastic athletic wide receivers and Akue Bunam and everybody else. Apparently Beck, where it's at, you've got him on the team, and Javonte Williams does not need 11 targets. He should be involved in the passing game, but 11 targets to him and then a ton to Beck and the other third, fourth string tight ends. Throw the ball to the outside and let Russ cook. Please just do the thing. Matthew Stafford on the highest team total of the day, the Los Angeles Rams at home against Atlanta. Yeah, they were home in week 1, but the Buffalo Bills are no joke. They're a juggernaut. They're a buzzsaw. And going up against them in week 1, when basically everybody sat through the preseason for the Rams, was about as tough a landing spot as you could hope that they were going to come up against. Now they get a much softer spot here against the Falcons defense. And I really think that this is a great bounce back spot for Allen Robinson. Falcons play a lot more man-to-man defense than did the Bills. The Bills played like 97% zone defense, and the Rams have like the best zone beater in the world in Cooper Kupp. And Allen Robinson got no love. I think Cooper Kupp's still going to eat. He's going to get his, 10 targets a game that he always gets. But Allen Robinson's got a nice bounce back spot here against Atlanta's secondary. Tom Brady is my quarterback 11 on the week. Brady always an opportunity, right? There's always the chance that he throws for like 3-4 touchdowns, get you the 300-yard bonus. He did it once last year against New Orleans. He had like 30 plus DraftKings points. In the other game, he had it was like a 9-6 game or 9, whatever. It was nothing. They didn't do anything. They didn't bust a grape. New Orleans wants to play slow. They want to control the ball. Today, New Orleans just signed Latavius Murray. And we know that Alvin Kamara is dealing with an injury. I don't know if we know exactly how serious that injury really is. If that offense is without Alvin Kamara and they aren't really able to establish it as well as possible, it's going to be interesting to see what the Buccaneers can do Now, we know that Mike Evans also has a history of not performing well against Lattimore on the other side, and Brady going to be without Godwin. So now Julio Jones steps up into the mix. Looked really spry in week 1. Russell Gage going to be an impact player at this point, and we'll see what else they utilize. Cam Brate ran a ton of routes, but he was basically just getting cardio as he got like 3 targets, but that's why Brady is down here instead of up at like 5 or 6. And my QB 12 on the week, rounding out my QB 1s, is Aaron Rodgers. He was running for his life in week 1. A lot of passes to AJ Dillon, and the rookie Christian Watson dropped a touchdown on his first target that he got in the NFL. But like, Dobbs looked pretty good. Watson looked pretty explosive. Sammy Watkins is Sammy Watkins. He's meh. Randall Cobb is pretty meh. Tunyon's got one more week to come back where like he ran around and he was fine. So like a much healthier situation for the pass catchers for Aaron Rodgers, and they get to play at home against the team that he went into Chicago and told the fans that he owns them. Well, now he gets to try and live up to that in Green Bay and own them one more time. Aaron Rodgers is going to be what Aaron Rodgers is going to be, and that this week it puts him at 12, just ahead of a couple of guys. Kirk Cousins was 13 for me on my list, and number 14 is Trey Lance. Didn't quite make the QB1 list, but that's my top 12. Hope you guys liked it. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.